weeks ago, every Zionist account on social media, every Zionist media member was writing articles hysterically from here to Australia saying, Candace Owens is having a mental breakdown, Candace Owens is unhinged, Candace Owens is angry, writing lies about me.
Just imagine the people back in the day when they would have to travel certain distances for months or even years. What is one thing that they would carry with them? The Quran. Why? Because they did not have it on their mobile devices or their gadgets. Brothers and sisters, imagine you have a app, the Qurani app, which not only shows you how much rewards you get, but reminds you to read the Quran, gives you reminders. Download the Qurani app now and let it testify for you on Yawm al-Qiyamah that you read it wherever you was. We was expecting this to happen, Zishan.
Yeah?
We was expecting it. After hearing all the information, we was expecting that to happen. I know you're thinking about something else, but I'm talking about Candace Owens.
Aha.
Ah, nice.
But surely this only happens to Muslims, brown people and extremists that are a danger to society. Surely it wouldn't happen to Christians and people that are, right-wing or people that, have ingratiated in society, Ali.
I like that word, ingratiated. Nice.
Ingratiated.
What?
Ingratiated.
Ingratiated. What does that mean?
Yes.
Nice. Okay, guys, so alhamdulillah, as you can see, that Candace Owens is starting to make her way towards being cancelled.
Aha.
Why though? Did she say something? What happened to freedom of speech? I mean, the far right supporters, Tel Aviv Tommy would support her and say, you have a right to freedom of speech. Because it's the Muslims that you can't talk about.
Right.
No, it was all a big fat lie. It's the Zionists you cannot talk about. That's correct. There is no freedom of speech. And like Candace Owens says with her own mouth, it's after October 7th, things change. A paradigm shift happened, brothers and sisters. Why? Because it was a big fat lie under the pretense of freedom of speech and democracy. And no.
When you say big fat lie, so your words don't get misconstrued, what was the big fat lie?
Netanyahu.
Aha.
Nice. So we're going to react to 4 or 5 clips. This one is the main one, but she's expressing and selling us, inshallah, why
she's selling us for how much?
You know one thing I noticed about her, anytime she says Israel, have you noticed she goes Israel? Why is
really?
She yeah, she goes because Israel. She says like
I don't pay attention that much.
I do.
To the opposite gender, Ali.
Nice. Okay. Let's react to this first clip of she's explained to us why she got cancelled, and it gets really interesting as you guys watch it. Please watch the whole 5 clips, inshallah. They're not that long. This one is the longest.
Nothing on my account other than the day that account Awesome Jew began publishing a step-by-step guide for how people could mass report my Tristan Tate interview when my Tristan Tate interview aired. And YouTube actually responded on Twitter and said that these sort of targeted harassment campaigns wouldn't work. And then lo and behold, they quite literally took down that video, and we then filed an appeal, and we haven't actually heard back on that appeal. But I kind of put it in the back of my mind. And interestingly enough, like, it's kind of been a journey with this, and I did kind of expect this to happen, especially after the Rabbi Shmuley debate. I knew there would be some price that I had to pay for it, because you just can't have a video or a debate go that viral. And I could just see how angry the Zionist community was about it. And you could sense their anger also in their silence, which is so interesting just to weigh against. 2 weeks ago, every Zionist account on social media, every Zionist media member was writing articles hysterically from here to Australia saying, Candace Owens is having a mental breakdown, Candace Owens is unhinged, Candace Owens is angry, writing lies about me. And yet, absolute crickets. If you go online right now and you type in like Rabbi Shmuley, Candace Owens, despite the fact that it was trending for 2.5 days on Twitter, not a single article was written which was negative about Rabbi Shmuley. And it sort of has been like a build with like throughout, I would say, the last year, really almost exactly a year. I think sort of post October 7th, for better or worse, things have changed. We're not going back to the place, the America, the conservative, the Republican movement, whatever you want to call it, that we were prior to October 7th. And I think it caused a lot of people to see the world through a different lens, and to see a lot of people who they had trusted and who they thought were morally consistent not live up to that expectation. And so I knew, like, when the first kind of harassment campaign came, and it was essentially like, this is what your opinion has to be on this situation, and I didn't bite on that, I knew what the consequence was going to be. Obviously, everybody saw the writing on the wall. It was like, we will come for your job, and you will no longer have the platform that you do. But I really did have the confidence, like, when all of that happened this year, I knew that I would be fine, because I very much believe in myself. And I think that kind of comes from, I think the public trusts me. We've been through enough together with, the media spells, whether it's...
Okay, so you see her basically clearly saying that after the 7th of October, things changed for the whole world. And I'll be honest with you, it really is. I mean, we are in a time of history where, the Zionists have been using this argument of the Holocaust and all this kind of stuff not to be criticized. And the battery is running out. Why? Because they are hijacking that to say that you cannot criticize in any way, shape or form, even if that means that we are doing evil. So much so she said that she even lost her job. And I know there's speculation on the Daily Wire she left. Come on, bro. If you're in a relationship, and you're with an abusive person, a person who's evil, you're either leaving that relationship willingly or unwillingly. Yes? Okay, you're going to be forced to leave, and that's what happened with her. Her saying, oh no, I chose to. No, you didn't. You was forced to leave the Daily Wire. She lost her job. That's number one. Who's Tad Hickey?
So Tad Hickey, amongst many other people, is, in fact, Tadhiki, all he's known for on Twitter, his clips go viral where he's just doing sketches and little kind of satirical little clips, poking fun at Israel, poking fun at others as well, but given what's going on, poking fun at Israel. And he's been demonetized as well.
There you go.
And he's received a strike also.
Because of what? Israel? Criticizing Israel?
Criticizing Israel, in fact, being called, and he says this is in no way what he's done, and people can watch his content, called a Hamas glorifier or defender or whatever it is. Richard Medhurst, who's a Christian from I think the Middle East, but again light-skinned, a journalist whose parents I think have won the Nobel Peace Prize. His dad was a police officer, but yet he got an invasive search as well, and he got asked a lot of questions. There's so many, and Candace Owens to join the ranks on YouTube, because YouTube used to be a platform that was somewhat a bit more kind of logical, not like Meta. Meta's been open with regards to its bias, but YouTube, why do you think that is?
I mean, YouTube, I don't know actually. I'll be honest with you. YouTube has been quite consistent in the sense where they don't literally get rid of it. They can demonetize you, but they let you on there. I've been seeing YouTube a bit more tolerant when it comes to freedom of speech more. But now this is how we're starting to see the shift.
Why do you think that is?
Well, before we come to that, let's watch the other 3-4 clips. They're short.
That's
and
long,
let's get some more context, inshallah.
Also being very much aware of the fact that no matter what you think about him, Rabbi Shmuley has power. He has never lost any of his positions. He's allowed to write for, I think it's the Jerusalem Post that he writes for. He is invited into those circles. You heard him speaking about how he's friends with Bibi Netanyahu and how Israel has nukes and how he has access to all of these people that are extremely powerful. And they've never distanced him. They've never called him unhinged. They've never called him crazy. I knew that I was standing up to real power. And I knew that, again, I would have to face some sort of a consequence for just really allowing Rabbi Shmuley to expose himself. Like, there wasn't really much done by me other than to point to the world that this is radical, and the people that are telling you that I'm being hateful are boldly lying. And I truly mean it when I say I'm grateful to Rabbi Shmuley for that interview. I'm grateful for the way in which he lies and just has zero apprehension about it. Like, it's just a part of his nature. I'm grateful for all of that because people got to see that live, like how someone can just literally say, this woman got up on stage and like supports Adolf Hitler and we didn't cancel her, knowing fully well that that's a lie, doing it because you are trying to destroy somebody's character. And for the world to go through that, and for me to have received all of the emails that I did with people saying, that was the first time that I understood what you have been trying to communicate.
This is very bold and this is very brave of her to know and do that and step up to that. And you need to give credit to her, because you know why? She is speaking up against injustice. And this is an ayah in the Quran, if Candace is watching this, speak the truth even if it's against yourself, man. If whoever it is for that matter, and she is literally doing that. She knows that this guy is boasted, in his close to Benjamin Netanyahu, and he's got friends in this place and that place, etc. They're making it very, very bold. But she said, I don't care. She's going to speak out against and she's going to remember in history for that. Just a few other clips that she mentioned I just quickly want to watch.
The harassment campaign doesn't work, then we're going to have to get her deplatformed. And that's what you're seeing. This is it's a pattern really with Zionists, I would say. I mean, this is the sort of stuff when you see that Ari Emanuel writes a letter and says no one should work for Kanye anymore. What is that really? What is that? Shouldn't we be able to decide whether or not we want to buy his shoes? And you could say, listen, I'm not, Adidas has a right to fire whoever they want to, DAP has a right to fire whoever they want to, but when all of that comes on the heels of one person writing a letter, these are the kinds of questions that I think we have a right to start asking. And when somebody openly says, like, this account, we're going to harass her so she has no platform and she can't make any money, what they're saying is...
Okay, so when it comes to controlling, like when we talk, it's quite controversial, controlling the media. Would we say, I would say it's maybe a bit far-fetched to say, Jews control the media. But to say Zionists, do we have any evidence of them controlling the media? Because it's becoming more and more apparent that anyone speaking against Israel or Zionism, for that matter, is, somehow losing, being demonetized, deplatformed.
I don't know.
He was writing all those notes you've been writing, Rishan.
All right, so
like, donkeys that carry books. You don't want to be one of those.
I don't want to be a donkey.
You don't want to be a Margaret.
So ADL.
Who are they? EDL.
No, ADL.
Nice.
Yeah, they've been designated as a trusted flagger.
Okay.
On YouTube. Yeah.
Okay.
So ADL are the Anti-Defamation League, and they've been described as an Israeli intelligence asset. Why so? Well, even the FBI, I think it was in 1960, they tried to make them classed as a foreign agent because they were collecting information on Palestinians that were in America. They were collecting information from them and sending it to who? Mossad.
To India.
Close.
Okay.
Mossad.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's the ADL. They're the trusted flaggers that are in YouTube. But when you make statements like, does so-and-so control this or control that, that's not our place to say. However, we can just present the facts and you can come up with your own conclusion.
Nice.
It's literally as simple as that. So you've got ADL, a very powerful an influential organization. And then let's look at the individuals that work in YouTube and their positions. So YouTube streaming's global head of music in 2016 was somebody called Leo Cohen. Yeah. And Leo Cohen was once described as the tall Israeli who runs the rap industry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. To such a degree that this guy, he got certain artists' music either removed or them removed, and some of those artists were Lupe Fiasco, he was one of them, Professor Griff, and even Low Key's music was suffering a lot on YouTube as well.
Okay.
Is it any surprise? Because these artists spoke against Israel, they were political, and this guy got involved. Yeah.
So you're being anti-Semitic now. You're trying to say he's controlling the rappers.
No, what I'm saying is that this was, he had a house in a settlement, an Israeli settlement.
Okay.
His family have relations with the Israeli terror group called Haganah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is Leo Cohen, who's been given such
Coward.
a head of music in YouTube 2016.
Okay.
The marketing chief of YouTube, Ricky Drury, he served in the Israeli occupation forces. Yeah.
Okay.
And Netta Gross, she was high-ranking. She had a high-ranking role.
She's gross.
She definitely is gross. After you find out that she had a high-ranking role at Google and YouTube, but she also served in the Israeli occupation forces as a satellite officer. That's definitely gross.
Yeah, that's definitely gross.
Yeah. And lastly, not to mention, actually there's two more, Nama Citron, who was the YouTube product strategy lead, and she used to be the Israeli intelligence operative. And you had Dror Oren, that's D-R-O-R, Oren, who was a senior product director at YouTube and also served for the Israeli occupation forces. So these are very high-ranking positions that have been offered to, let's face it, criminals.
Offered to? I don't know if there's an offer. I think there's a direct thing. So if it sounds like a duck and it looks like a duck,
then it's an elephant.
It's a quack.
It's a Margaret.
Last video, inshallah, of Candace.
This is a long act.
It wouldn't require a circle of journalists, a circle of Zionists to keep embarking on these sorts of harassment campaigns. It would be so obvious that this was the right thing to support that you wouldn't have to threaten financial terrorism to get the public on your side. And that's where we are. Now, you probably see that I'm pretty chill about this. The reason is, I don't know, I think partially it's because I'm held to support evil. There is no circumstance in the entire world, financial terrorism, I don't worship mammon, that I will be compelled to subject myself to evil, to submit myself to evil. And I see that many people have made that decision, many people who I came up in politics with, and I understand it. And to an extent, I have compassion for people who think, okay, well, this is just one topic that I don't have to touch, and I can support my family. I'll just avoid talking about this topic altogether. I'll pretend that Gaza doesn't look like Dresden times 10 and that this is totally normal and turn the other cheek. And to those people, I guess what I really want to say is just, I don't know if that excuse is going to work in the only court that really matters. And
that's the court of God. And SubhanAllah, it's very interesting. She said if the cause was just, they wouldn't need to do all these threats. They wouldn't need to do all of this stuff. Their cause is not just.
That's a very good point.
And that is, SubhanAllah, so profound. As you can see, and you know what? This happens, SubhanAllah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even though she's a Christian, again, she is speaking the truth. And, Allah tells us in the Quran that the people of the book are not the same. And you can clearly see that. There are Christians who come to speak as Quran outright supporting Zionists. And then you've got Christians like her who are standing up for justice, who are, if they are following the true way of Jesus and the biblical teachings.
But hey, it's the Muslims that are taking over the UK and America.
Yes.
It's the Muslims that you need to have a ban for, like Donald Trump's calling for, because apparently we're the ones that are we the ones censoring and removing people from platforms and curtailing their freedom of speech? I don't think so.
I mean, you cannot make this up, bro. Like, Allah has made things work in such a magnificent way, subhanAllah, even though the atrocities that have carried, subhanAllah, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept them all as martyrs.
Ameen.
But the way the whole world, like like in a matter of under 1 year shifted. Wallahi, let me tell you something. You cannot make this up. And if they gave us billions and trillions of pounds to orchestrate this, to show the real face of Zionists, we would have not been able to do it. They done it free of charge with their own mouths. A genocide in a HD4, like literally 4K, bro. You're watching it happen, and the entire world is now seeing the reality, and that they used Muslims to see us as the evil guys. The whole world is now waking up. And you know when someone is told a lie, if I was to tell you this person is evil and I portrayed him in a certain way,
I wouldn't believe you.
God, you wouldn't. But imagine you believed me, and then you found out the reality, bro. Your cause and your ambition is going to be far greater, because you're going to say, you lied to me all this time and I thought he was the evil guy, where it was you. And that's what's happening with the people. They're like, you've lied to us for so many years, over 20-30 years, and vilifying Muslims, and all along, yes, hypocrisy, freedom of speech, all of this, human democracy, whatever you want to call it, human rights, you guys went against every single thing you believe in. That's what
I think they are the true Margarets.
They are Margarets. If you want to know what Margarets means, please search it. It's a Bosnian
why are you spoiling the Leo?
All right, you are
just say Margarets, then they're going to be like, why did they keep mentioning that in all these videos?
Exactly.
Don't spell it out.
Unholy Shimoli, you are a Margaret. Yes?
I agree.
Zionists, you're a Margaret. All you people who are committing atrocities,
who hating on me, are Margarets.
Till next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all the Margarets.